It was a sunny Saturday morning in Denver, Colorado, when I decided to visit my best friend, Emily. We had been friends since middle school, but with both of us having busy schedules lately, we hadn't spent much time together. Emily had invited me over to her house to hang out, and I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to catch up. When I arrived at Emily's neighborhood, I noticed the cheerful garden in front of her house. There were bright flowers, a small fountain, and even a swing hanging from a sturdy tree in the backyard. I walked up to the front door and rang the bell. Within moments, the door opened, and Emily greeted me with a warm smile. "Hey, I'm so glad you came," Emily said. "I wouldn't miss it," I replied, stepping inside. Her house smelled faintly of vanilla, giving it a cozy and inviting atmosphere. We walked into the living room where her mom, Mrs. Thompson, was arranging some books on a shelf. I had met her a few times before, and she always seemed kind, but I had no idea what was about to happen. "Hi, you must be Sarah," Mrs. Thompson said warmly. "Emily has told me so much about you." "It's nice to meet you," I said, feeling slightly nervous. "Oh, you're going to love today," she said with a smile. "I have a little surprise planned for you both." Curious, Emily and I exchanged puzzled glances. Before I could ask what she meant, Mrs. Thompson disappeared into the kitchen and returned a few minutes later carrying a large tray. On it were fresh baked chocolate chip cookies, glasses of lemonade, and a small plate of fruit. The cookies smelled heavenly, warm and soft, just like homemade treats should. "I baked these myself," Mrs. Thompson said proudly. "I thought it would be nice to start the day with something sweet." We sat down at the kitchen table, and I took a bite of the cookie. It melted in my mouth. "These are amazing," I said, genuinely impressed. Emily laughed. "I told you my mom is the best cook." After breakfast, Mrs. Thompson suggested we go outside. Emily and I followed her into the backyard. To my surprise, there was a small craft station set up with paints, brushes, and blank canvases. "I thought it would be fun if we did a little painting today," she explained. "It's a way to relax and enjoy each other's company." I was astonished. I hadn't expected a craft session, but it sounded fun. Emily and I sat at the table, picking out colors and starting our paintings. Mrs. Thompson guided us gently, giving tips but letting us explore our creativity freely. While we painted, she shared stories about her own childhood, her travels, and how she loved experimenting with different hobbies. I could see why Emily admired her so much. She wasn't just a mother, she was a genuinely inspiring person. After a while, Mrs. Thompson suggested we take a break. She led us to a small garden shed in the backyard. "I have another surprise for you," she said mysteriously. Inside the shed was an assortment of seeds, pots, and soil. She explained that we could plant our own flowers or herbs to take home. Emily and I were thrilled. We spent the next hour planting marigolds, sunflowers, and basil in small pots, laughing and chatting the whole time. Once we were done, Mrs. Thompson had one more surprise. She handed us each a small notebook. "This is for you to record your thoughts, your drawings, or anything that makes you happy. I think it's important to take a little time every day to reflect and be creative," she said. I was deeply touched. In a world that often felt rushed and stressful, her thoughtful gestures reminded me how small acts of kindness could make a huge difference. As the day went on, we played board games, shared stories, and even helped Mrs. Thompson bake a small pie for dessert. I realized that the day wasn't just about fun activities, it was about generosity, thoughtfulness, and making others feel valued. When it was finally time to leave, I felt a warm sense of gratitude. "Thank you so much for today," I said. "I've never had a day like this before." Mrs. Thompson smiled. "You're welcome, Sarah. Remember, it's not about big gestures, it's the little things that make life meaningful." Emily hugged me as we walked to the door. "I'm so glad you came," she said. Driving home, I thought about everything that had happened. I realized that the most surprising moments in life often came from ordinary days spent with kind and generous people. Mrs. Thompson had shown me that kindness and creativity could turn an ordinary visit into a truly unforgettable experience. From that day on, I always looked forward to visiting Emily's house. Not because of anything extravagant, but because I knew there would always be laughter, warmth, and a sense of wonder waiting for me. That visit taught me a lesson I'll never forget: the smallest acts of love and creativity can leave the biggest impact on someone's heart. And sometimes, the people you least expect have the power to surprise you in the most wonderful ways.